Stop checking her social media. Stop checking what she's doing. It doesn't matter anymore. You messed up and it's done. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Real Problems, Real Solutions. Important question. I don't know if I addressed this before, but basically he's asking, what can men do to heal after divorce? In today's episode, I will address men. Inshallah, the next episode, I'll address women. What can women do? We have to be fair to give both sides, inshallah. As for men, there's a study, I think it was early 2020, where it was looking at who heals faster and better from a breakup, in which, of course, it was a proper, correct marriage or good long-term relationship. It was done by non-Muslims, of course, but people were committed to each other, not people were playing around. If people are just playing around, of course, the man is going to move on faster, much faster than a woman, and he'll have less, things that will happen to him, or consequences. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Consequences of this relationship. The man will kind of move on, okay? Because the woman's fitra, her sexuality, her haya, this is what's compromised first in these kind of relationships. But when it comes to serious relationships, the study found that it is women indeed who move on faster. That's right, you heard me correctly. Women move on faster, men slower. Men have more pain. It's harder for them to go through. Why? Because men don't have that support. Women can turn to their friends, to their mom, to some sisters, and they get that right away. It's okay, don't worry, you're perfect, it was him who was wrong, and so on. Guys, first of all, they might not have that shoulder to cry on or who to approach. They might feel ashamed, and even if they do it to some friends, their friends might be like, bro, you're stupid. You are stupid, I told you from the beginning. Well, girls will not say that to her. Oh, you stupid girl. She's gonna say, oh, it's okay, you're amazing, he didn't deserve you. They're always gonna validate her and encourage her. Not with men. Men are very like, boom. All right, so guys don't have that support. That's number one. So what can you do as a man when you've gotten divorced? We have a lot of khulas this time. A lot of women put on the divorce. That's what's happening these days, brothers. That's why I say always, man, we have a problem. We need to fix ourselves. Huge thing. Men have to take more responsibility. Men have to be more serious. At the same time, men have to be more clear in defining their limits. We're not clear on our limits a lot of times. A lot of women take men who have clearly defined limits as narcissists, and that's why a lot of times they divorce or they fall out, because they can't accept a strong man. They want a weak man who's going to compromise his limits. Had you put your limits earlier, maybe you'd not be in this situation, brother. But anyway, so what can a man do? How can a man recover? First thing, go back to that difficult point. Seek the brotherhood. You need brotherhood and support. You need men who can support you. Take the criticism. It's okay. Don't expect a shoulder to cry on. You need to man up. As a man, you're going to have to take accountability. You messed up as well. It's your fault as well. Don't worry. It's not always the woman's fault only. You have to at least be fair and honest with you, that at least out of the 10 problems that were there, most likely 6 or 7 were hers, and maybe the rest were yours. It is what it is, okay? So man up and seek the brotherhood. Sorry, let me take it a step back. Before that, seek Allah's help. Sorry, that'll be number one. Seek Allah's help. Pray tahajjud. Wake up at night and pray tahajjud prayer. Pray the qiyam al-layl. Ask your Lord to make it easy, to remove that pain from your heart, that weakness and sorrow, okay? And complain to Allah first and foremost. Number 2, as I said, the brotherhood. Number 3, start working more on yourself. Most likely you lost her. And again, I do blame you as well. Yeah, she had her problems, no doubt. It's her fault, no doubt. But as men, we have to take that accountability. Most likely you messed up and most men mess up because they don't focus on themselves. We focus on our families, we have responsibilities, but because you gave up your frame, you gave up your position as a man, your limits, that's why probably you started messing up because of that. And she disrespected you, messed up because of that as well. I'm not blaming you, bro. But you have to understand, in many cases that I deal with as a counselor, that's where a lot of the problems start. So work on yourself. Tahajjud, Fajr, get in the gym, go for a run, a walk, make sure you do some exercise, work on your physical development, because that helps your mind to be more clear. So you got your spiritual, that's the number one. Got your social, number two. You got your physical, number three. Work on yourself. Number four, move on. You gotta get your mind, speak to yourself to forget her. Stop checking the messages, stop checking her social media, stop checking what she's doing. It doesn't matter anymore. You messed up and it's done. You have a choice as a man. We'll talk about the next point, but stop. If you're feeling this is over, it's done. Stop checking her social media. Stop thinking about her. Move on. You have to move on. It's not easy, but you have to disconnect emotionally. And men are usually more when they are. I'm not talking about the bad guys who play around with girls and it's easy to jump from woman to woman. I'm talking about the guy who really loves this woman. He's more emotionally invested, because men love women differently. They love them for who they are, that they're a woman, that they're beautiful, for example, right? A man can love a woman because she's beautiful, she's pretty. A woman is not going to love a man because he's handsome. She's going to love him because of stuff that he does for her or brings to the table, provision, the way he makes her feel, so many things. You have to work so hard. So disconnect emotionally, do stuff, keep your mind focused. Don't rebound here, be careful. Don't go and take the first girl that comes your way, because most likely you're going to pick someone like her because you miss her. And you're going to look for things that remind you of her in that next woman. Do not rebound. Take your time. Take a little bit of time. Okay, next point. Learn your lessons. Make sure you sit down and reflect. What are the mistakes that she's made, that you've made in the vetting, in the process, in the marriage itself? Don't make them again. Okay, learn lessons. We men don't learn lessons, and subhanAllah, we hit the same hole, the lizard hole, many times over and over again. As the Prophet ﷺ said, that the believer doesn't get stung from the same hole twice. Some of us get stung 2,000 times. It's too much. Let's learn a lesson, inshallah. Okay. Next point. When you are ready, move on. Start looking for another wife. Start looking for another woman. Start looking for another person that can fill a void, but who's good. Don't make the same mistakes you've done it again. Do it properly. Make istikhara. Listen to istikhara. A lot of guys, they just get infatuated, see a pretty woman, that's it. They start falling for her, that's it. They leave everything else. They don't care about the signs, they don't care about the red flags, they just go for it. Now don't do that. Okay, focus and pick a good woman. Last but not least, there could be many other things, of course, no doubt. And some of these things are general, you can expand them more. Last but not least, if you think as a man that you messed up, then there's nothing wrong with fixing yourself and apologizing and trying to make it work again. A lot of men would just say, no, bro, don't ever think about her again. She's this, she's that, blah, blah, blah. You have to understand, we don't go based on red pill or this or that. We go based on the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? Did the Prophet ﷺ take the daughter of Umar Khattab back? He did. He divorced her. He took her back. Okay, there was goodness in her. If you know that you have had problems, there was a lot of your mistakes. It could be, it's a situation. I'm just saying, this last point depends, okay? Have the maturity as a man to admit that you were wrong and that you want her back and that you're changing and that you're fixing yourself, your mistakes. And you tell her, hey, I'm sorry. A real man will apologize when he is wrong. Okay, a real man will rectify his condition when he's wrong. There's nothing shameful about you admitting that you're wrong and ask her for her to come back. But be careful, because here, if she's not a good woman, she's going to use that situation against you to now leverage and weaponize that you've come back to her and that you're somehow needy. She feels that you're needy. If you put yourself as needy, she could destroy you. So be careful. Doesn't mean that if you give her this, that she's going to now abuse you. No, right? This is, again, it's only dependent upon the situation. If you are wrong, if the situation is your fault and you're ready to admit it, then go for it. But if not, then bismillah, stick to the previous points and you can move on, inshallah. Remember, this dunya, these women are part of dunya. They're a fitna for us. May Allah forgive us and help us and protect us. But most important thing is your relationship with Allah. And if a woman's going to compromise that, if she's going to take you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even by 1 inch, then she's not worth it.